tech is booming. I mean, you've seen the headlines, right? You hear the success stories. And, well, for many of us tracking these things, it feels like this massive, undeniable force. But underneath all that buzz, all that opportunity, there's often this quieter kind of personal question that pops up, Is this actually for me? So today, we're really setting aside the hype, the buzzwords, all of that for a genuine deep dive into what fit in tech, well, what it really means. Our mission here is to unpack how you can figure out where you stand.
And that's such a crucial point because the opportunity, it's absolutely undeniable. You look at the U.S. tech industry, for instance, there are over 8 million open positions right now.
8 million? Wow.
Yeah. And that demand isn't just holding steady. It's projected to grow faster than, well, any other field. And the salaries, average salaries are more than double non-tech roles.
Double.
It's like Satya Nadella, the Microsoft CEO, said, every company is now a technology company. But, and this is the key thing, just because tech is booming doesn't mean every single job is for every single person.
Right.
The sources we look at today really hammer this home. It truly comes down to finding that personal fit.
That's where it gets really interesting, isn't it? Because, when most people hear tech, they still often picture like math geniuses or coding wizards.
Stereotypes.
Exactly. Or people with fancy engineering degrees. There's this ingrained idea. But what our sources really highlight, and I found this pretty compelling, is that this idea of fit, it has way less to do with your academic background or even what you already know.
Right.
And much more to do with sort of your inherent approach to the world, what we might call a tech mindset.
Exactly. It's about how you instinctively engage with problems, with information. And the sources, they offer this really useful framework, actually, for self-assessment.
Yeah.
Helps you discover if you naturally lean into that tech mindset. They basically boil it down to 5 key questions you should ask yourself. So the first 2 are, do you get a genuine kick out of solving problems? Like, do you enjoy the puzzle? And second, do you enjoy learning new things, especially if they challenge you?
I think that first one, getting a kick out of solving problems, that feels so foundational. It's not just like finding the answer, but enjoying the actual process, right?
Yeah.
The untangling.
And precisely.
So how does that mindset, that sort of drive to figure things out, how does that translate into actual tech roles for someone who maybe isn't on that typical tech path?
Well, okay, think about roles like a cybersecurity analyst.
Yeah.
Or maybe a DevOps engineer.
Okay.
For cybersecurity, it's about constantly picking apart these complex digital puzzles, like finding weaknesses, protecting systems. It's this relentless chase for solutions, often under pressure.
Yeah, I can see that.
And for a DevOps engineer, it's more about optimizing processes, finding the bottlenecks, building systems that are, solid and efficient. Both roles are fundamentally about problem solving, just different kinds of problems.
Makes sense. Different arenas.
Exactly. And that second question about enjoying learning new stuff, that's just as vital because, tech changes constantly. What you learn today might be different tomorrow. So that built-in curiosity is just crucial.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, the landscape shifts so fast, you really can't afford to just stand still. So what are the other questions? The ones the sources suggest we should think about?
So the next 2 kind of build on that foundation. Question 3, are you naturally curious about how things work? Like, do you take things apart mentally or physically? And question 4, do you enjoy building or fixing or optimizing systems? These really get to the heart of what a lot of tech roles involve, from developing new software to making existing stuff better.
Right.
So if you're someone who just loves to tinker, to really understand the mechanics of something and then think, how can I make this better? That's a really powerful signal.
Yeah, I can immediately see how that curiosity, the how things work part, connects to roles like, well, maybe a data scientist digging into data sets to find patterns.
Yes.
Or even like a UI UX designer who's constantly trying to optimize how people interact with technology, right? Understanding that journey.
Precisely. It's not necessarily about being some coding genius from day one. It's about having that innate drive to understand, maybe dismantle, and then rebuild or refine.
Okay. And the final question.
Right, the 5th one. And I find this one particularly telling. It's, have you ever taught yourself something just because you wanted to know? This really gets at self-motivation, doesn't it? Initiative.
Yeah, that one really speaks to the self-starter, someone who doesn't wait for a formal class or someone to tell them, They just dive in because they're curious.
Absolutely.
I imagine that kind of drive is incredibly valuable in a field where you often have to learn on the fly, adapt to new tools, new challenges, kind of independently.
Totally. That intrinsic motivation, that willingness to just go deep on a topic because you're interested, that's a hallmark of so many successful people in tech. It shows adaptability, a proactive approach to learning, which frankly is invaluable across pretty much all tech roles. So the sources basically say, look, if you found yourself nodding yes to 3 or more of these questions.
3 or more, okay?
Yeah, 3 or more. It strongly suggests your natural mindset is already pretty well aligned with a tech career. It's about recognizing these traits you might already have, traits you might not have even connected to the tech world before.
So if we've learned anything today, it really boils down to this. Being a fit for tech isn't so much about what you already know or your specific background. It's truly about who you're willing to become.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
And tech is absolutely not one size fits all. We keep saying that, but it's true. It offers these incredibly diverse roles. It needs creatives, organizers, thinkers, and builders way beyond just coding.
Absolutely.
The real key, like we've explored, is matching your natural strengths and maybe that burgeoning tech mindset to the right path for you.
And that tech mindset we talk about, those 5 simple self-assessment questions, getting a kick out of solving problems.
Right, enjoying learning new things.
Natural curiosity, enjoying building or fixing or optimizing.
And teaching yourself something just because.
Yeah, those are really the foundation. And like we said, if you answered yes to 3 or more, that's a strong signal. And it's not just theoretical. We've seen these incredible real-world examples of career transformation based on this very idea.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, the sources highlighted stories like a truck driver becoming a DevOps engineer,
Wow.
an Uber driver moving into cloud support engineering, a filmmaker becoming a cybersecurity analyst, someone working in home services becoming a front-end developer, even a soccer athlete retraining as a cybersecurity analyst, and a barista becoming a data scientist.
That's amazing. Quite the range.
It really is. And there was this powerful quote from one person reflecting on their journey. They said, "I wasn't technical, but I was determined, and now I'm doing work I never thought possible." That hits hard, doesn't it? That determination factor. So, here's maybe the final thought for you, the listener. Choosing a direction that could shape your next 5, 10, maybe even 20 years. Well, that deserves more than just hype, right?
Absolutely.
It deserves real clarity. So before you jump into whatever the next big thing seems to be, maybe take a moment. Ask yourself, where do my natural strengths actually meet real-world opportunity?
And if you're still kind of figuring that out,
Yeah.
a really tangible next step, something mentioned directly in the sources, is to maybe explore some of those quick, practical career fit quizzes out there.
Like the Clarusway one you mentioned.
Exactly, like that one.
Right.
They're specifically designed to help you discover which tech role might genuinely align with who you are. They can offer some personalized insight on your potential path in tech. Your tech journey, it really does begin with a decision that's grounded in, well, knowing yourself.